Hi there, I am in Madaraka, Nairobi, and I want to cover Madaraka for you. What you see behind me is the legendary Strathmore University, one of the biggest private universities in the country. I won't go in the university, but I want to walk around Madaraka area along Ole Sangale Road for you to be able to see this legendary, awesome area of Nairobi, Madaraka in Nairobi. Right guys, so right now I'm along Ole Sangale Highway, which is here in Madaraka. So I'm going to be walking around showing you the area and also showing you the different housing units here. Guys, look at that, it's called Magadi. This is also part of the Strathmore University. Look at it, it looks beautiful, right? An awesome place, this one of the study centers, but the larger university, the other area quite massive. And of course, this is Madaraka area, right guys? You can see the awesome houses behind me as I'm going to be walking through this place in the city, right? Look at it guys, those are the houses, Madaraka flats behind me. I'm going to be walking showing you these houses. And of course, just like the neighboring areas in the city, like for example South B, like for example Nairobi West, South C and so forth, also this particular area in Nairobi is quite expensive. Not really expensive, very expensive, but quite expensive with regards to housing situation, because also here we're talking about prices of houses here varying greatly, really depending on what you're going for. Look at behind me, that is a Madaraka flat, okay? So here houses vary a bit depending on what you're going for. To give you an example, you could find for example here a one bedroom going at about 20,000 to even upwards of 30,000 per month. That's for about a one bedroom. And then two bedroom in this particular area is gonna be going at about 30,000 to even in some areas upwards of 50,000 Kenya shillings, right? You can see behind me, for example, this is how the Madaraka apartments look like, right? Those are the old houses called MF, Madaraka flats. But of course, in recent times, we have seen there being new houses getting constructed. What you're seeing behind me is an old design of Madaraka houses. You can see behind me. And even these old designs are the ones which have shared their price for rent. Some are between 20K to even upwards of 40-something K, depending on where it is. You can look at them guys. And by the way, as you can see, these particular houses here are actually organized in courts. We have different courts. In other words, gated communities like the one you can see behind me. That is a court here in Madaraka for a given unit of houses. Typically, I've seen we have like around somewhere between 4 to about 6 blocks making a given court. And even with that, we've seen also there being expansion in construction, whereby even we have behind the houses kind of like roads, which have really been expanded because of private development in this particular area. But one thing you need to know that this is Ole Sangale Road. It is very clean. And of course you can see awesome trees around here, some birds chirping. Guys, this is Madaraka. You can look at it, it's awesome, right? This is Madaraka guys, okay? Look at it. You can see all those apartments there, all those awesome houses there. And of course, as I've told you guys, they are organized in courts. Like you can see those particular houses there, right? Those are awesome houses also organized in their respective court. And ideally, that is the model in Madaraka. You have houses organized in courts, and of course, that is the price range I've given you, depending. And also, another thing worth noting is that also in this particular area, we have elements of cost sharing. And that's so because I've already told you guys this area is home to one of the biggest private universities in the country, Strathmore University, right? Which has a good number of students. We're talking about over 15,000 students. And with that, it tells you they also need a home. That's why this particular area, Madaraka, actually also you find some element of house sharing. You find, for example, a good number of students coming together to rent a given house. It could be, for example, a 2-bedroom house being rented by even 6 students, okay? They share the cost and ultimately things are good. So that is how this particular area is organized. you know, there's house sharing, and also just to ensure the security. That's why you're seeing all these different courts. You know, you have houses organized in courts, a given number of houses. And even I remember some time back when I was still doing my undergrad in a nearby university here, I remember we used to have meetings. You know, when you live in these Madaraka flats, there used to be those periodic meetings, let me say once every 2 weeks, whereby the head of each household, they come to meet just to discuss matters security and progress in that particular court of theirs. So be sure this particular area is a good place to live in, whether it is as a family or even you as an individual. This is a good area to live because we're talking about security being good, and also these particular houses are designed just to ensure that families are secure, because once you see they are organized, for example in courts, it's going to tell you within a respective court they're going to be looking out for each other's security. Look at that apartment behind me, guys. You know, that right behind me is a sample of Madaraka flat, how it is, okay? But these are new designs, because guys, the old designs I'm going to be showing you shortly on the right side. These are the new designs which have actually been built maybe in the last 8-9 years, because this place has really expanded. But guys, the old design for Madaraka flats are the ones you're seeing with some light yellow kind of color. These are still new designs. Right ahead here, I'm going to show you the old designs of the former Madaraka flats. Irregardless, the price range is the same, because the demand for houses in this area has really grown over time because of working class Nairobi, urbanization happening day in, day out, and also students requiring the different housing units. Those are the houses in Madaraka, guys, mostly apartments. You rarely find a single individual housing unit which is by its own. Most of them are apartments, as you can see right behind me. And of course, as I've already told you guys, these are actually organized in courts too. You find houses are bundled together in a court, like for example, just see behind me. This here is a court, okay? Houses bundled together in a court. And then you find, for example, like around 8-10 houses, sometimes 6 houses in a given court. More so, the recent courts which have been developed over time. You find a good number of houses in this particular area, okay? So if you're looking for houses, don't hesitate. This could be a good option for you, really depending on what you're seeking and also depending on what your budget is. This could be a good option for you. Look at those houses, guys. They are pretty organized well, and as you can see, they are arranged very well. These are sample of the houses in Madaraka, and on my right side here, these are new design of houses. I remember they were built about 7 years ago, and right about now we're talking about occupancy for such kind of houses being literally over 100%, because the demand for houses in Nairobi is increasing by the day. What do you think about this area? Do you think you could consider, for example, to come and live in this area, right? About the price, what do you think the rent, that range I've shared with you for rent is? Do you think it's affordable? Do you think it's expensive? What do you think about it? That range of rent I've shared for you for Madaraka apartments, what do you think about it? Do you think it's affordable? Do you think it's expensive? I've told you for this particular area, the rent varies greatly, but most of the times it goes for somewhere between 20,000 to even 50K. And in case it's a very big house, over 3 bedroom, even sometimes it goes for over 50K, depending. 1 bedroom somewhere between 20K to about 30K. 2 bedroom somewhere between 30K to about 40 something K. And in case it's big, let's say for example it's over 3 bedroom, we're talking about it even going for upwards of 45K Kenya shillings. With that, do you think this is something which you could consider, for example, to rent? Share with me your thoughts down below. Do you think this is something you could consider to rent? Look at those houses, guys. These are some of the apartments in Madaraka area of Nairobi, and those are the price ranges which I've shared with you. Having said that, do you think this is something you could consider? Assuming, for example, you work in town, or even so you work in neighboring areas, like for example Nairobi West, like for example South B, like for example South C? Do you think this is something you could consider with regards to housing? If you could, share that down below. And also, if you couldn't, why not? Why wouldn't you consider, for example, getting a house in this area? Is it because it is expensive, or is it because maybe it isn't an area which you could consider? And if you're looking for alternatives, what else would you maybe look to consider as an alternative for this particular housing arrangement in this area? Share with us down below. Let's continue discussing them. But personally, I think, look at those guys. Those are the old designs for Madaraka apartments on the right side, right? Those are the old designs. The ones I was talking to you about are the new designs, which you can see on my left side, okay? Those are the new designs of Madaraka houses, but the old designs, you can see them on the right side here. Quite dilapidated because they were built long time ago, but still they are occupied because the demand for houses in this particular area is just off the roof. Population increasing, and of course also working class in the city continue to increase, students continue to increase here too. That tells you the demand for these houses is quite high. And as I look to close, one thing worth mentioning also based on my experience is that I remember when I was living in this particular area, it was quite a challenge, for example, when it comes to matters water. And I'm saying so because that's about over 10 years ago. I think maybe things could have changed, but I don't know. About 10 years ago, we had a problem with regards to water. And that's so because in this particular area, there was what is called water rationing. Water rationing in that there was those days where there was water, and then other days also where there was no water. So it really depended, but we used to have those rationing scenarios whereby there are days which we used to have water, other days we used to lack water. But on planning yourself, you could be able to even store water in your house to have on those days where the taps could run dry. Having said that, what do you think about all this? And of course, one last thing also is that when it comes to accessibility, be sure Madaraka is one of the most accessible areas in the city. And I'm saying so because, guys, this area, whether you're talking about the main highway, which is actually Ole Sangale Road, or even off the road going towards the apartments, we are talking about this particular area having very well-made road, tarmac road, and also talking about the Cobro when it gets to entering into the respective estates. So roads are very okay in this area. Accessibility is not an issue, and also security is good. But of course, like any other area out there, you need to ensure you are responsible for your own security. Thanks a lot for watching. I look forward to share with you guys other awesome videos next time. Bye bye, and you all take care.